to organize and host this press conference for the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe to discuss this week's court ruling and to share their thoughts on the next steps in the effort to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline from crossing underneath Lake Oahe. Today we're going to hear from Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe Chairman Harold Frazier, also from President Scott Weston of the Oglala Sioux Tribe, as well as from Royal Yellowhawk of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe, and from Madonna Thunderhawk, an elder from the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe. They're going to give brief remarks and then we'll open it up to questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to begin by saying that we recently had a court hearing and I am very disappointed with the outcome. One of the things I kind of learned from this is that, what the judge was saying, that there has to be a flow of oil before there's irreparable harm to the Sioux Nation. But in our culture, we look at it differently. Any type of drilling into Unchimaka, Grandmother Earth, is a desecration to her. And that is where we come from. So I'm very disappointed in the outcome. But we're gearing up and we're ready to continue to fight on. We do have a hearing coming up on the 27th of February in regards to preliminary injunction. And I'm really happy, excited that our other sister tribes in the Great Sioux Nation have filed as well. The Oglala Sioux Tribe in Yankton, and of course ourselves in Standing Rock have already filed in court.
Good afternoon. My name is Scott Weston. I am the president of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. I am here today because of what's happening in a negative aspect of how Native Americans are treated and have been historically throughout the history of the United States of America. We as Native American people are the first people that have always been here. And it's through our treaties that we base all of our fight on. Be it known that the Oglala Sioux Tribe did file on our behalf against the determination of what is happening because of the lack of respect of their own process without having to respect the EIS process and basically just stepping on their own laws by which they created for us to abide by. So we had no choice because we have, with the Clean Water Act, we have created back in the 80s, in 1980s, we have the Oglala Sioux Rural Water Supply System that supplies water to our tribe, to the Rosebud Sioux Tribe, to the Lower Brule Sioux Tribe, and the West River Lyman Jones tap-in. And not counting our own tribes that we, the tribal membership that we supply water to, we supply waters to 40 non-Native American towns within western South Dakota. And with that, where that goes is that we may have to shut that down. They talk about irreparable damage. That has no bearing on it. The city of Pierre, the city of Fort Pierre, will be damaged first, which is across the water from our state capital. Thereby going everything back to the west. And if we have to, we'll shut it down. But in the meantime, we have filed. We have put it out there that we stand with our sister tribes, as Chairman Frazier said. We stand together because Unchimaka is what we live by. That's how we were raised. If we don't do it now, we just as well terminate all Indian country as we see it today. Thank you.
Oh, took out to watch the cheese buffalo, na le Trabella taco blow trinktiki, and le chamoctalo. Good morning, good afternoon. Rosebud Sioux tribe through the 1851 with the Sioux and the 1868 Sioux Nation Treaty, the Rosebud Sioux tribe reserved by treaty from our original homelands, our permanent home and other lands, with the United States pledged to protect the Rosebud Sioux tribe as a reserve right to claim flow of water that are pertinent to our home, and the Winters Doctrine, the Coda-Atlas pipeline, oil pipeline that threatens our permanent home. And therefore, the Army Corps of Engineer acknowledges that an environmental impact statement was necessary to consider the impact of potential impacts on the human environment and the Maniway-Choni. So with that, back home during a session of Tribal Council, the Rosebud Sioux tribe authorized its legal counsel to join the lawsuit of the Oglala Sioux tribe in litigation as a plaintiff to protect the Maniway-Choni water project and enforce the Sioux Nation tribes' water, hunting, and fishing rights to human health and environment. So with that, I'd like to say that where we live is very important to our generation, our seventh generation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Madonna Thunderhawk. I'm a member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. Our reservation borders the reservation of Standing Rock, and we have shoreline on the Missouri. I think it's important to note that we are members of the Great Sioux Nation, which is Ochete Shakoin. And so there's all the tribal nations that are involved in the water issue. I've been up on the taken land under the Army Corps of Engineers. I've been up at the camp since August. There are many, many people there yet. We have several hundred, and they represent Native nations from all over. And our issue, of course, is treaty rights, and the damage that a pipeline drilled under the Missouri will have, because we know it's going to burst. We know this is coming. And so it's not just only our people along the Missouri, but all the non-Indian people, the hundreds of thousands that are downstream. So this affects everyone. But again, we are no longer, as Indian people, we are no longer the canary in the mine. It's everybody now, because everybody drinks water, wants clean water. So that's the bottom line. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the speakers. Now we'll open it up to questions. First from folks inside the room.
This is for the Oglala Sioux and the Rosebud tribe. Is there anything unique in the Oglala's lawsuit that Rosebud is joining that you think is going to be more persuasive in court than the existing litigation from Cheyenne River and Standing Rock?
I'll just repeat the question quickly for those who are online. Is there anything unique about the Oglala Sioux tribe's lawsuit and the Rosebud Sioux tribe's lawsuit as distinct from the others?
Basically, what our lawsuit is contesting is that they did not follow their own rules. They did not, how can I put that? They did not push any of the issues that they forced upon us. And that's what we are contesting. You know, the EIS, and we question mitigation. What is mitigation? That's the question that you need to find out, because they haven't answered their own questions for us. And when they didn't do that, that's where we started to come in, because we seen how we knew that Standing Rock and Cheyenne River were gonna get rolled over on. So we looked at that. We also questioned in the lawsuit, President Trump's